series of robberies, then a shootout. A police officer is hit, a suspect is dead. Tonight, it is our top story.
That shootout Craig was talking about happened last night in Fort Lauderdale. And tonight, the people who witnessed this gunfight can't believe it happened in their neighborhood.
It sent bystanders literally diving for safety.
It could have been a scene from a Hollywood movie, but in this case, it is real.
Another big story this morning. A shootout in Fort Lauderdale ends with a robbery suspect dead and an officer in the hospital.
24-year-old officer Ronald Magno ended up in Broward General Hospital Sunday night. The man accused of shooting him, 33-year-old Eduardo Diaz of Hialeah. Seen here arriving at the hospital, Diaz died of multiple gunshot wounds a short time later.
When it was over, the gunman was dead. A police officer wounded. Officers tell us they confronted the suspect, Eduardo Diaz, following reports that someone was robbing gas stations in the area. They say he pulled a gun and started shooting. Enough bullets were fired to leave extensive damage on one car. People who were nearby when it started tell us it's amazing that no one else was injured.
It starts here and here. There.
The gun battle took place in front of Susan Lee Decker's home. She found herself in the middle of flying bullets.
What made it real, though, was when I could hear the bullets, whizzing by, literally, and then I heard one hit the car.
Decker was working on her car when the suspect, Eduardo Diaz, came running towards her. She says he turned around, shot at cops, and they fired back.
As I was hiding, as I was sitting there, the bullets continued for quite some time. And there were bits of, plaster and cement and everything flying over my head. It's like being in a war. It didn't feel until I heard the shot hit the car right next to me, and then I knew that, these are real bullets and I needed to move.
And move fast. Sunday night, police spotted a car believed used in 4 armed robberies in the neighborhood and pulled it over right here at Southwest 20th Street and 4th Avenue. The driver, 33-year-old Eduardo Diaz, got out and ran. Then Susan Decker watched as Diaz came toward her, a gun in his hand, and then he looked back at police.
He turned and fired at the police, and then they opened fire on him and started shooting and shooting in my general direction.
Decker found safety behind her cement stoop. Not everyone was so lucky. Police officer Ronald Magno took a bullet in his left thigh. He is expected to recover. Eduardo Diaz died from his wounds at Broward General Medical Center.
It's an incident this Fort Lauderdale community won't soon forget. Just take a look at the street. Each letter marks a place where a bullet casing fell. It shows how dramatic this gun battle was.
I opened the register to put the money on the register, and all of a sudden he pulled a pistol, a very little small one, and he says, "The money." So in that point, I took the money and gave it to him.
LaChaka says he couldn't hand the money over fast enough. All the while, he was terrified that Diaz would shoot.
To tell you the truth, I just see only the little gun, and my eye was pointing to that little gun and see what happened.
Cops say Eduardo Diaz was far from finished after robbing this gas station. In the span of an hour, he robbed 3 other gas stations within a mile of here, and he only got a couple $100 at each location.
As he's leaving the booth, he's walking, he says, "I'm sorry, man." He says, "Things are real tough." And out the door he went.
To Susan Decker, it's still home.
And it's been a very quiet, peaceful neighborhood, up to now.
In Fort Lauderdale, Bobby Harley, News 4, South Florida.